or whatever, hopefully you'll see me out there cheering on some of our guys. This is going to be my 23rd year as a football coach, middle school, high school football coach. My third year here in Independence. I think we're doing a lot of great things here. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our program at the 7th and 8th grade level. We have 6 coaches for our program, which is pretty unheard of at the 7th and 8th grade level. We work really, really hard to get better at what we do, to coach kids at a high level as far as on the field, but really try to do the off the field stuff too, community service, make sure we're really great, strong academically, build great people, great teammates, servant leaders, and all that kind of stuff. So my hope in that you're hearing that, and hopefully you talk to the parents that I'm not just preaching, that we're really doing this, that hopefully all of your kids, when they get a little bit older and they get to middle school, will play for us and give the sport a chance. I believe it's the greatest team sport there is. There's been a lot of changes over the years as far as some of the concerns a lot of moms and dads have about safety and all that kind of stuff. Just so that you know, like, all coaches we have to go through training about learning about some of these elements of safety and about doing the right things. The way the game's played has changed a great deal in the last 10 years. How we run practice has changed. The rules of the game has changed. Equipment is better. If there is an injury, we're better at recognizing it. There's better protocols for coming back from an injury. So the whole notion of safety, I believe nothing is risk-free in life. That the cost benefit, the benefits of this sport are really, really great in the life skills that it builds. So I'm really excited that your kids are playing, especially at the younger ages. I believe this strongly. I don't care if it's National Football League players or kindergartners playing the sport of football. When you are enjoying what you're doing and enjoying it and having fun, you play better and you win more. If you do things the right way, you enjoy it more, you win more. So I know that all of our guys that run the youth program are doing a great job and teaching things the right way, working together. Working really closely together. We sat in the locker room for probably like 2-3 hours just to make sure that we have the same values, the same belief systems, doing the same things on the field from kindergarten all the way up through our high school program with Coach Adams. So I'm really proud of what we're doing and how we're all working together to really have a great program in the city of Independence. So please, we play our games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays usually. Come on out and check out the middle school. Bring your younger guys and gals that are playing football. Come on and check us out. We want you to be a part of it. I know our 5th and 6th grade kids that are playing in the youth tackle, rookie tackle, we bring them out for one of our games. We call it a family day game. That's going to be September 11th. They come out, they do our pregame with us, and they hang out and cheer us on, and we really have fun, make a fun day of it. So we really want to be inclusive for you, your kids, because I want every single kid that's playing youth football to feel really welcomed when they come play for us later on. And please encourage them to stick with it. Football is a game that, like, I can tell you the first year that I played youth football, I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible. Like in 6th grade was the first time I played youth football. And like my friends were like, no, you gotta keep playing, you gotta keep playing. And the next year came back and it was really good. So it takes time to build skills and get good. And I can tell you that my middle school football coach for me was a lifelong mentor and somebody that I really looked up to before he passed a couple of years ago. So our goal, I want to be 1/100th of my middle school football coach for your kids. It's an honor to coach and be around your kids. So I know they believe the same thing. They're going to treat your kids with honor and respect and do a really good job of teaching. Coaches are teachers. So, I mean, that's really all I got. I'm really excited that your guys are playing. Encourage them to have fun. Be supportive as parents. These times go very fast. I know I'm driving 4 hours to Michigan after this, and we're celebrating as a family what would have been my parents' anniversary, because my dad's not here anymore. So, like, really enjoy these times with youth sports and try not to make it too serious. I don't want to say serious, but like it is serious, but really enjoy the process of it as parents and encourage your kids to enjoy it. And I can tell you that we make sure that we enjoy it at the next level up, and I believe that you should do that all the way through. And I think it's better when you do that. So just stick with the sport and keep playing, and keep encouraging your kids to keep playing. Not just football, but like all sports. Keep them active in all of these things, and it really builds kids, building friendships and all kinds of stuff. We just had a very high-level football player that I coached. Was playing at a very high level in college. One of the things we talked about were his friends. Like, he's still with those friends that he had from grade school, back in middle school. And I know I'm playing golf with one of my high school football teammates. So kids build lifelong friendships through this stuff. So encourage them to stick with it and keep doing it. So I wish you guys luck. And I look forward to seeing all you guys around and meeting you. And if you have any questions ever about the middle school football program or anything that we're doing, any of the ways that we teach, anything, even youth, if any of you are youth coaches, mi casa su casa, we're here to help you and support you and help you in any way. So that's really all I got, Coach.
Yeah, thanks very much. And I'll just add, David's been a tremendous partner since I started. Just to, I want to thank you, David, for welcoming me as coming in and just partnering with me to understand what the middle school vision is for our football players and how we can support that. And I said earlier, kids doing things they didn't know that they didn't know they could do. That is what gives them enjoyment and fun. What we want to do is when kids go into middle school, they're ready to succeed, because going into middle school 11-on-11 football for the first time, going in and getting run over and losing a bunch of games and not being competitive can be discouraging for kids. So our mission is to send them into the middle school program ready to play and ready to compete, and that's fun. When you're competing and you're competing against the opponent at the same level as them and you're having success, that is what the kids have for fun.
Coach, I have one more thing with that, actually, because with that, I will say this: we've already been in voluntary minicamp in all of July, and one of the things our coaching staff was commenting on was our incoming 7th grade kids. It's very apparent that they were very fundamentally sound, and they had really great habits, and most of them had played in the youth program here, that there's really, really good things going. And I gotta say too, like at the middle school level, we've been pretty good the last couple of years, like pretty good. And I mentioned it at our banquet last year. 3 times last year, officials came up to me after games where we had played really well and commented about our kids, number one, being great sportsmen and doing things the right way, but also being really impressed with the level of football that we were playing. And so I plan on that continuing with the next year and the next year and the next year. So they're doing the right things, for sure.
Yeah, thank you. And just on doing it the right way, my proudest moment as a coach in this organization was last year. A few of you were there. The team I was coaching, we steamrolled Rocky River in the semifinals of the league I was coaching in. We crushed them. And the coach came up to me after the game. It was the second time we beat him that year. And he came up to me after the game. He said, "Coach," he said, "your kids play it the right way. You guys have a lot of class. Good luck to you." That was the highlight of the season. Of all the wins, of all the touchdowns, the highlight of the season was opposing coach who we just knocked out of the playoffs told us that we behaved the right way, our coaches, our parents, and our players, and they behaved with class. And I came back and I told all my parents that, I told all the kids that, I said, this is why we do what we do. You're right? It was a playoff game too. It wasn't a regular season game. You were there. So that's why we do what we do. So thank you, David. All right, so we're going to turn it over to Dr. So. Thank you again for being here. Talk a little bit about player wellness.
Thanks, guys. Unlike Coach, everyone needs to know him. Hopefully no one gets to know me that well. But there are a lot of people here who I do take care of your kids, and I've known them since they were babies. But Cleveland Clinic Children's is once again to be a proud partner in Independence Youth Football. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm from Independence. I work at the Independence Family Health Center. I'm a pediatrician and a pediatric sports medicine specialist, and I'm one of the concussion specialists for Cleveland Clinic Children's. That being said, all right, I cover a lot of hockey, and we talk about safety a lot, but what I've heard from Joel and the coaching staff is that they do all the training to teach them how to not use their helmets as weapons. They do heads-up tackling here, and since the inception, since Joel, I think I've seen one kid that's just because he fell backwards. I haven't had one kid on a head-to-head collision at Independence since we've been doing this. And it all has to do with education. Everyone here is certified to do coaching. And if it does happen, I'll get a call from one of the coaches and I will get you in, either that night or the next night. All right? There's no such thing as what we used to have. You get your bell rung, he just got dinged. If your kid has a headache's not acting right, they don't know what to do. The training's all different now. Yep, see, all the coaches, they've all played with concussions, and back in the day, we didn't know what the concussion was, right? You got hit so hard, you forgot what play it was. Every coach here is nodding their head, but now it's different. And the reason is because there's something called second impact syndrome. You get hit the second time when you're recovering, no one wants to be on the news. And that's why I'm here, all right? I'm here to make sure that everybody plays safe, all right? And if something does happen, and also too, more commonly, it's a finger, all right? You get a finger crack, you get a little wrist, you tweak an ankle, and we have Ortho Express care, get an x-ray. It starts at 4 and it's open till 8. All right, guys. But that being said, when does practice start? Next week?
Third graders next week. And
All
then
right.
other
Yeah,
ages
so
a little
next
later,
week,
so.
it's August. It's going to be hot. Remember, hydration, nutrition, it starts the night before. The night before practice. Give them a bottle of water. Drink another one in the morning, because you want your tank to be full. If you don't do what I tell you and they start at half tank, as they get dehydrated, they make mental mistakes, and these guys are going to yell at them. They're not allowed to grab masks anymore, but they get yelled at, right, Coach? So keep them hydrated when you're there. If they're going to be out there, water's fine. If it's more than a couple hours, you can add a little bit of sports drink to it. But other than that, just water's fine. But then we talk about recovery. The best thing to give them on a ride home is not a Gatorade. It's extra chocolate milk, so they get the protein too. You want to give them a little protein shake to make them sound cool and gain weight? That's okay too. All right? But feed them. The good thing about football, some positive things besides all the injuries, is what Coach said. It's the camaraderie of being on the team, of having those stories, of winning, of working together and suffering together. All right? That's what part of the football is that they'll always remember that they always played. And when we talk about Pee Wee football, the nice thing about safety is, generally speaking, the kids are the same size. Yes, there's that one or two outlier, but probably he's not going to hit your kid, all right? But when the kids are the same size and the same weight, all right, I don't see him in my office. It's just when you get that 150-pound third grader, that's a different story, all right? But yeah, he's just going to run over everybody. They're going to step out of the way. It just happens. But that kid. If that kid is that big and he's coached well, he's trained not to hurt everybody else. Cause that's what we would do with our kids too, right? Don't hurt that little kid. Don't hit the kid who's scared. When you're that big. So when the kids are the same size, it's safe. All right?
Thank you, Dr. So, and I'll just add, if you are a parent of a rookie tackle kid, talking about the big boys, there is actually rules in the league that limit the amount of touches big boys can have per game. It's 3. And where there's actually a definition of what constitutes, they call them big boys. That's let's say in our league meetings, like big boys. It's 125 pounds. So if someone's over 125 or more pounds in the rookie tackle league, they can only get 3 touches in any given game. And you can find a way to get out of the way for those 3 touches if you need to. But, those are some of the measures in place. So, okay, thank you very much. So I think just on the topic of safety, we're going to stay here with Luke Rowan, our Director of Safety and Equipment. He's going to talk about the countless hours we've spent making sure that our equipment's up to snuff.
Thank you. So the director title is definitely way overstated. I'm a volunteer, so I don't direct anything, not even my own kids. hours we spend on my computer doing research for the newest safety devices and technology out there is a blessing and a curse. With ADHD and medication, I have 35 tabs open. And so I can't even send him everything that I find on white papers and new devices that parents can have, and helmets and shoulder pads and everything, because I'm a kid at heart, and I love this game so much. And my son Grant is going into third grade this year and is playing padded flag for the first time. And he's so excited to feel like a real football player, to have shoulder pads and hip girdle pads and everything else, and his helmet. If I let him, he'd probably sleep in his helmet. I mean, he loves it that much. And I want every kid to experience that. So we know that the likelihood of a child in any area in America going pro in any sport is very small. It's very hard, luck, athletics, gifts, genetics, but they're going to use their brain for the rest of their life. At least we hope. And some of us with little ones, they make decisions. We're like, is that thing working? But regardless of that point, when they become adults, we need that thing to function properly. And so Tim and I really spend a lot of time working with our vendors from Rydell and Sutter Sports on the newest technologies out there for helmets for safety. We make sure that everything is completely checked and re-inspected every year. The guidelines actually just changed to every other year now, so that's what we're gonna follow those guidelines. What governing body is that does that?
USA Football.
USA Football, yeah. So USA Football does the governing body for that part. The coaches are volunteers. They have to do like 4.5 hours of video training.
8.
Yeah.
That's like 8 hours.
That's if you don't pass the test the first time.
I passed the test.
He did pass the test. It just took him 8 hours. No, I'm teasing. But there's a lot of great stuff because, you know, my wife was trying to understand like why I was watching these videos, and I said, who remembers having to get up to change the channel on the television? Because they didn't have remotes, right? Yeah. Well, technology's come a long way since then, and now we can talk to our phone and it can change my Roku device. Same thing with football. That has changed as well. We have advanced in safety technology for players from pro levels all the way down to the kids. I believe the average cost of an NFL helmet is like $17,000. And there's 52 guys on that team, and they have like 2 or 3 helmets because they're all custom fit. So we don't want your kid to have a $17,000 helmet. We give them very good quality safe helmet that's checked. They cannot be any older than 10 years old. Once that happens, the helmet's aged out. We take care of that. That's where some of those fees come in, the fundraising, to get even newer helmets to help improve that. So as we rotate, vendors. There are devices that I have found that you can use your HSA on to help reduce risk of subconcussive hits, which I'm sure Dr. So can speak about as well. Because the concussive hits are the ones that you have to see him about, which is very rare, especially for these groups. But the average high school kid has 4,000 subconcussive hits, and that's the hits that don't cause concussions. Those can also lead to long-term damages. So they have devices now for that are the kids wear around their neck to help protect their brain. That's FDA approved. We have information on that if you want to talk after, be more than happy. Typically, again, third grade and up, as you get into a padded flag or rookie tackle, you'll see the players wearing it on NFL. They wear it on their neck. This is obviously made for an 8-year-old, so it's very small. But you'll see the guys with the collar. Actually, if you have Netflix and you're watching the show Receiver, Equanimity of St. Brown, Amon St. Brown's brother wears this, and a lot of other players. So it's a really cool device. It was actually developed by Luke Kuechly, some of you may know from the Carolina Panthers and Boston College, great linebacker, one of my heroes. So he actually is one of the co-founders of that company because he had concussions as well. Other than that, again, the training is very long. It's very dry. It is not animated for fun, but you learn a lot. And it really is beneficial on the way they teach tackling now and the way we teach our practices. I think that's pretty much it. My degree's in kinesiology with a focus in biomechanics, so I kind of know what I'm doing with this stuff. It's a passion of mine, and I really want the kids to grow up to be just great humans, and the stuff that they'll learn in this and the challenges and overcoming hurdles and obstacles, like you said, learning something new can't be taught in a classroom because they will come through this better people as a group. And I just truly believe that with all my heart. Is it?
And just to add, if you're not familiar, all of our coaches from first grade on up are USA Football certified, whether you're a head coach or assistant coach, it doesn't matter. You go through the same USA Football certification. You are certified to identify when a concussion event has happened. What's that? Double, yep. So you're certified to know what may be a head trauma incident where we got to remove the kid from play and put him through concussion protocol. We're certified in cardiac arrest to know if something goes wrong with the heart. Many of our coaches are CPR certified as well. We really do take it seriously. And when I was just coaching before I was on the board, safety was what's going to happen to us. And then all of a sudden I took on this role and I was like, there's 108 kids that want to go to school next week. And all of a sudden safety became really, really important to me. Because if something were to happen and we didn't have the right training at our coaching staff, I wouldn't be able to continue doing this. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep. It would ruin my life. So all of a sudden, I took it real seriously. So the coaches go through that, and I always tell the coaches, you want to coach 100 hours of football, if you're not willing to do a 3 or 4 hour training before coaching 100 hours, you probably really don't want to coach football. It's one extra day out of the dozens of days in the evenings you're contributing your time to this fall. So we're going to turn now to this fall, what to expect this fall calendar. If you go to the back of this page we gave you, there is a calendar for all the different levels. So let's level set first on what we offer as a program. We offer 4 different levels of fall football, starting with pre-K and K, and then first and second, third and fourth, and fifth and sixth. So football is always a dual year cycle. So like baseball is kind of, if you go into travel baseball, it's like individual years, 8U, 9U, 10U. Football is always generally joined at 2 years together. So we follow that model here in-house. So if you're a parent of one of the little guys, the pre-KK, and I'm one of those parents. I have a kindergartner this year. So we're going to start on the 17th of August, and it's going to be at the high school football field back there. And Rick Adams, the high school coach, is going to put on a little clinic with some of his coaches for the little guys on the turf. It's going to be pretty cool. That's going to kick off their season. So they'll go from an hour from 9 to 10 on that Saturday the 17th, and then we're going to go for the next 5 Saturdays out at the old middle school property on Brecksville Road behind the old CVS, across from St. Michael's there. We'll go 5 Saturdays there from 9 to 10, and it's kind of in that front grass area, not back by the goalpost, so just park by the water tower, you'll see it. So you'll have 6 total events for the little kids, 9 and 10 years old. It's mostly skill work. We don't really break out into teams at that age. It's just we kind of rotate them through doing skill work, and then towards the end of the season, we'll put a little game in at the end and have them play. And Coach Franco's back there. He's going to be leading it. Wave, Matt. There he is. So he'll be leading those little guys, and myself and others will be helping out. First and second grade, if you're a parent of a first and second grade, that's where we graduate into flag football. Straight flag football as we're used to seeing, no pads. We play either 5-on-5 or 6-on-6 at that level, depending on how many kids we have on each roster. So they're going to start on Wednesday the 7th. So that level plays 2 days a week. The little guys are 1 day a week, just Saturday. 2 days a week for the first and second graders. We go Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesday evenings, Saturday mornings. Games are Wednesday evenings. We do games on Wednesdays and not Saturdays because we have a more successful time securing professional referees. Professional as in we pay them. That's what I mean by professional. But we get certified referees to come and referee those games. It's not volunteer. We're able to get those on Wednesday night. Saturday, those refs are all booked with higher level commitments. So the games are Wednesday nights at Zuber Field. We're playing a football field in the outfield there. We do those games. There'll be one game at 6 o'clock, one game at 7 o'clock. So you could be at either hour on any given Wednesday. Saturday mornings, we do practice early, 8 o'clock. So get your kids to bed Friday night. 8 o'clock practice on the turf field at the high school. We do it early because a lot of kids at that age are dual sport athletes in the fall. They're playing soccer later in the day, and we have conflicts. So we get the practice in early so they're not conflicted with their other sports that they're playing in the fall. And then we do it on the turf because the grass is really wet in September at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if we're on the grass, at that age, they do not like having that tall grass that's really wet from the dew still. So we get them on the turf. It's a little bit more enjoyable. So we'll start that on the 7th of August. You'll be getting an email, probably about a week before that, just confirming times and dates and when to show up. One thing I'll add at that level, mouth guards are required, even though there's no helmet. So you have to show up with the mouth guard. If you don't have a mouth guard, we're not going to let you play. There's, it's no contact, but there's enough incidental contact where the teeth are at a risk. So get your kids a mouth guard and fit it to them. I guess the last thing on that level is we'll play through Wednesday the 25th, and then we'll have a night game on the 28th. And that's going to be here. Hopefully, we're confirming that the field's available on that day, but we're pretty sure it is. So at the high school field, we get it under the lights for the kids. It's pretty fun. Last year, we were able to bring in Chagrin Falls to play against, so kind of new community to play against as opposed to playing against ourselves, the different teams in our own city. And we're working with them to hopefully do that again this year. Moving up to 3rd and 4th grade, so this is where, I think it was mentioned before, where they put on full pads, helmet, shoulder pad, pants, the whole deal. But they're still pulling flags. So it's real football with the exception of you just can't tackle the ball carrier. You pull the flag in the ball carrier, everything else is live go. Blocking is live go, shedding blocks is live go, offensive line, defensive line play is live go. So it's really a bridge from no pads, no contact, into full tackle. So by still pulling flags, you kind of avoid a lot of the multi-kid collisions that can happen when you're tackling a ball carrier. That can be very unsafe if you don't know how to approach those plays correctly. But so you kind of pulling flags, you're limiting that, and you're still having the one-on-one contact and learning the necessary techniques and skills to do that safely. So that level we start next week. Tuesday night, the 30th, if you're coaching at that level, we always practice at the old middle field, and that's our game field too. So that's the one level that we don't change. We never change a field. We practice and play on the same field. Old middle school behind the water tower, 2 old goalposts, yellow goalposts back there. We have 2 fields there lined. That is our practice and game field. Next Tuesday night will be a combine for that level. So we're going to put them through kind of this mini professional combine, kind of cool, a little overkill for that level, but it's fun for the kids. They get to, see their skills, get timed, do all these different drills and stuff. And then after that, the coaches are going to meet and, we'll select the teams from there. So you'll be hearing from your coach probably on the 31st, that next day. And then from there, we go Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So that level is 3 days a week. Tuesday, Thursday evening practices, 5:30 to 7. Saturday morning is games. And our first game's on the 24th of August. We have home days off, but the 10th and 17th we'll practice at 9 a.m. And then games start the 24th. Games can be anywhere around Metro Cleveland, really on the west side. We do have a few home games throughout the year, but road games can be in Rocky River, Avon, Amherst, Medina. It just depends on the schedule. That league does run playoffs, a full playoff bracket, 8-team playoff bracket. So, you may play into the Halloween weekend if you get to the championship. If not, you'll be done maybe a couple weeks earlier if you're knocked out of the playoffs earlier. And then rookie tackle, 5th and 6th grade, that's 7-on-7 rookie tackle. I think we mentioned that when David was talking. So that's kind of our last step before they get to full field 11-on-11 middle school football. So it's 7-on-7, it's still on a 40-yard field, and they start on August 13th. So their first game is not until September 8th, so we start them a couple weeks later because the 3rd and 4th graders' first game is August 24th. It's just the different leagues we play in have different calendars. So on August 13th, that's a Tuesday, they'll have their combine, teams will be selected afterwards. That level goes 4 days a week. So you can see we progress from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 days a week as we go up. They go Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. Games are on Sundays. So that's usually Sunday morning games. That league likes to have their games done before the Browns kick off. So the last game time, I think, is 12 noon in that league. You might be at 9, 10, 11, or maybe 12. It just depends on the week. And that league is more on the east side. So we'll have some home games, and if you're on the road, you're on the east side, kind of where the high school is lined up with. So the other thing I was going to talk to, if you're unfamiliar, if you're new to on the bottom of this page, if you're new to the organization, this isn't just a fall organization. We go around the calendar. So this year, we were able to offer a winter skills clinic. We did 2 Sundays in March, which Coach Weiss and his staff put on for us. So it's an opportunity to get 2 Sunday afternoons in March. We use the high school gym. The kids get some skills work in then. And then in April, we do a spring flag football season. That's flag football at all levels, 1st grade through 6th grade, where they get an opportunity to play 4 or 5 different flag football games in the spring. In June, we do a camp with the high school coaches. So they've seen the middle school coaches in March. They get to see the high school coaches in June. That's an outdoor camp at the high school football field for 3 days, 3 mornings in June. It's 2 hours every day for 3 days. And then just last week, we had our first girls flag camp. I don't have daughters, and I came out of that, I want a daughter. I want at least one, maybe 2. That was so much fun. These girls were so awesome, and we had 3rd to 6th grade girls. We did skills work with them. We played a game. They had so much fun, and I came out of there saying, I went to my wife and said, honey, we need 2 daughters. We do have some work to do, and I have none. So if anyone has some daughters they want to give me, it was so much fun. I cannot wait to build the girls flag football program here in Independence because it was an absolute blast.
Hey, Coach, something about that too is if you have daughters, it's coming. A lot of high schools have girls flag teams. It's becoming a club sport and a sport. There's 8 states in the United States that already have a state championship in girls flag in high school.
Yes.
It's coming. The Cleveland Browns are promoting it super heavily. So if you have daughters interested, get them in as next year because it won't be long before there's a high school team.
It will be a high school varsity sport in Ohio before the girls at this age are in high school. I am fully convinced of that after seeing what I've seen in other states are doing. I know New York, it's a high school sport, in New York, varsity sport, and it's a blast. The girls were awesome. They pay attention so much better than boys, let me tell you. It was awesome. So right now we're doing we have what we call our Alpha Tackling Camp. So Coach Backlund, who's helping our middle school program, is doing tackling camp for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So as your kids get into tackling camp, it's a 2-week tackling camp that he's doing in July, and that flows on to fall football. So just some highlights of we're year-round. We are a year-round organization. And with that, I guess I'll get my hand to Megan to talk about fundraising, if you can. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Megan Baker. I have a going into 4th grader that plays padded flag, and we are obsessed with this organization. So he's obsessed with football. He loves playing with his friends. He loves playing for these coaches and this organization. So the least I can do as a parent to help further the growth is to volunteer. So when I was asked, I know fundraising isn't the most glamorous part. It is not what you're here to learn. So thanks for putting me last, Tim, so that we could wrap up on this note. But everybody kind of set me up really well because all of the things you heard tonight obviously take money, right? We need good equipment. We need to keep the kids safe. We need to get them practice fields that are well maintained and, the pads that are well maintained. We are upgrading our jerseys this year for those who wear pads. And so if you had a kid in previous years that you had to put the old jerseys on over the shoulder pads, both of you were sweating. 1 or 2 of you was crying before the game even started. We have new jerseys this year. They are flexible and stretchy, and those are some of the things that our funds go to. Including the safety, including all the programming, including keeping the fees low, including helping the community. So we have donated some pieces of equipment, some things to the school sports and the other football programs. So we do give back to the community at large as well. We have 2 main fundraisers that we do. One is a corporate sponsorship. And so we kind of handle that under the radar and don't involve parents a lot. But it's important to know that if you do own a company, work for a company, or know a company that might be interested in sponsoring our program, I've got flyers, so come see me and we can talk through that. The second large fundraiser that we do is, I'm going to put this down. I'm pretty loud. I think you guys can probably hear me because I promised. So the second fundraiser we do is selling raffle tickets. every player will receive 5 raffle tickets that we will ask you to sell. All of the information is on the flyer that's included in the envelope. I've got everybody's over here marked, ready to go. So come see me before you leave. I will stalk you on the way out if you don't come see me, mostly because then we have to put it on the coaches to get them to the kids. And that can be a lot on top of what they're already doing. So I'm going to try to get all you guys before you leave here. So please stop by and see me. Tim also mentioned the spirit wear. It's all at the same table so you can get all your swag and your fundraising done in one shot. We have these tickets, again, they're numbered. We can take cash, we can take Venmo. One really important piece of information that if somebody is paying with Venmo, they need to include in the Venmo the child's name and the ticket number. And that's so that we can match the money up with the player, because the player, if this ticket is drawn that they sold, gets a prize as well. So again, it's really important that we match that up so the child gets credit for that. All of the information is on here. We will pull the winner on Facebook Live on our page at the October 4th IHS varsity football game. So you will see that. If you can't see it live, obviously you can stream it later. We'll send out the winner via email so everybody will know. But please take a look at that. If you are an overachiever and want extra tickets, I have plenty. You got a big family. You know you have people that you can sell these to. Come see me and we can give you more than 5. Really appreciate your support. Again, we all love this program. For those of you who are new this year, I know you'll love it too. So appreciate you guys working on this. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Megan, and thanks for everything you've done. And just a couple things I forgot. I was so ingrained in kind of the cadence for all the different divisions. Also the things that are just in organization in whole. So home days parade, if you guys are around next weekend. Saturday the 3rd, the parade's at noon. We have a truck with a trailer that's going to turn into a float and a couple golf cars that are going to be driving our kids through the parade. I'm told they can throw candy. We're following the city on that. It was controversial for some people, I didn't know. But they're allowing us to throw candy. So if you want to bring some candy to throw, you're welcome to do it. Just do it safely, please. That's at noon next Saturday the 3rd. The rookie tackle kids have the shadow game. Coach Weiss mentioned it, September 11th. We won't forget that date. Shadowing, he allows the 5th and 6th graders to come shadow his middle school team for the entire game day, from warm-ups through to the game to completion, right?
They'll show up, they'll come in the locker room with us, they do our pre-game with us out on the field, they'll hang out with us if we're talking to kids getting ready for the game, they'll walk out onto the field with us, they'll cheer us on during the game, we bring them on the field after the game, we feed them some ice cream or cookout or something, just to make, it's kind of like a formal welcome to those 5th and 6th graders that they're going to be with us in the next year too. It's become a really nice tradition.
Yeah, it's awesome. September 11th for that, if you're a rookie tackle. We have a youth night for all of the levels with the high school team, where our youth teams get announced before the game and run out onto the field to midfield. Cheerleaders get announced, and we kind of do a nice thing with the high school team. Right now, because we don't have any stands, we don't know the date of that. We got to wait till the bleachers are built. So the high school schedule is a little bit in flux because the bleacher date is still being finalized. So we cannot commit to when the youth night will be until we know the completion date of the bleachers. But you'll be hearing from us on that. The Mom's Powder Puff game, October 14th. Tentative date, we think it's going to happen on that date. Has anyone played in that before? All right, awesome. Yeah. So, awesome game. Moms, we have Independence High School football jersey. Moms play a flag football game against each other on the turf, under the lights. My wife has never played. If anyone can convince her to play, I will buy you dinner for a week. My wife and I met.
Coach, I'm 0-2. Step back here.
Get me on your staff this year. I'll help you out. I met my wife playing co-ed softball and football, and it was a 4th and 20, and we threw it to her, and she made this shoestring catch across the middle, dodged a guy, and got the first down. And I'm like, you don't want to play? That's why I fell in love with you. She's like, no. So if anyone can get my wife to play, you'll be my best friend. I'm working on her. Anyway, raffle tickets. Did you mention the due date? September 27th, right? September 27th, get your Raffle tickets in so we can draw them a week later. And I think that leaves us to Q&A. Any questions?
Rookie tackle and practice.
Practice what?
Practice time.
Okay, so rookie tackle practice time, Tuesdays, 5 to 6. It's short, it's 1 hour. It syncs up with the high schools. We do a little bit of a joint program with the high schoolers as they're finishing their practice from 5 to 5:30 and then half an hour on our own. That's usually a lighter practice, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays, 5:30 to 7.
Cool, thanks.
Any other questions?
I have a question, I'm just curious, just my little guys, just pre-K, super new. Are the players both from Independence Public School and St. Michael's?
No, it's Independence Public School only. Well, no, it's Independence residents only.
Okay.
Independence residents.
Okay.
You can go to any school, you have to reside in Independence to play.
I can tell you, even up to the middle school level, that St. Mike's kids, the rule is basically if you're a parochial school and they don't have a team in that sport, you can play with the team in the district. So say in 5 years, your pre-K guy's a 7th grader, and you're going to St. Mike's, they could play with the middle school.
Great.
The reason we don't allow non-residents to play is because the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th leagues we play in, they don't allow non-residents to be on our rosters if we're going to play in their leagues. The only exception is if you're in a situation where it's like, I'm two kids short of filling a roster, they might give you an exception to fill 1 or 2, but you cannot have open registration out of community for the leagues that we participate in. So we kind of just start that at the younger ages. It's just easier to manage it that way for the whole organization. Any other questions? Okay, before you leave, please pick up your Raffle tickets. We have the headbands are for sale here for $20, t-shirts, old t-shirts for $5 if you want them. If you want information on safety equipment, the collars Luke was talking about, our helmets, we have literature up here. Luke would be more than happy to talk to you about it. Otherwise, look for an email from your respective division's coordinator or your head coach about a week before your practice starts based on the calendar I gave you. And thank you for coming.